Welcome back, DestinysJesus here. Today I'm going to be looking at how to W key like Wave VADEAL. This guy in the EU Cash Cup got second place last week. He had 2 wins and he actually had a 26 kill first game win, which is absolutely ridiculous, as well as a load of high kill games that we're going to be looking at, breaking down his W key strategies and everything he's doing to be so effective at ending fights quickly and also without wasting too much mats and shield in the actual fight itself. Hope you enjoy it and make sure to leave a like if you did. In the first game, VADEAL was landing towards Sweaty Sands. Again, you don't need to go tilted in these hot drop games to get a lot of kills. As he approaches this guy's box, he opens an edit on him, and look what this technique he uses. He goes up to the wall, phases through the actual wall edit itself, and he places these 2 back walls on the other guy. He's got all of that exit control. He can trap the guy in completely. He's able to go for any kind of side edit play in a second, but instead he just charges a shotgun and takes the trader versus the guy who's already got 1 HP. In this next spawn fight, VADEAL is actually fighting 2 opponents at once. Whenever you're fighting 2 opponents at once, you need to realize how they are going to react to you actually going ahead and fighting the first player and how you can use that to your advantage. So VADEAL here, after this player is just going to go for this wall take and he's go back into his box, he gets an edit timing shot on this other one, and realizing that and realizing how the other player is going to react, he's able to catch him off guard when he's going for the double pickaxe swing. Really good awareness and just instantly going for the edit here. Now as he jumps in, you can see the stair edit he goes for. It's a perfect stair edit to do because you're protected a little bit by the left hand bit of the stair. The other guy has a really bad right hand peek and he's basically just full trapped in the corner and he has nowhere to swing side to side. Really easy kill for VADEAL there. Now as he comes back around after getting that kill, he realizes the other player is probably going to try to get into the box or maybe go for a third party shot as he's looting. VADEAL doesn't even spend any time looting. The other guy instantly comes back around and gets the timing shot again on this other player. This is just a quick note, if you're ever chasing somebody mid-game and they're just trying to drive away in a car, this player is, just get a crystal and you'll be faster them. And then when you actually go ahead and get in the car, get into the passenger side seat, turn around and you can ADS shoot them in the feet just with the AR. Don't do it with a shotgun because most of the time you won't get any damage registration. So he just instantly does his AR, gets a damage advantage on this guy, and then look at the piece control he goes for here. Gets all of these walls around, predicts where the opponent's going to move to as he comes around here, gets the close wall, then gets the cone slide instantly, and then gets the elim as well. This is a perfect example of how you should be predicting your opponents in a mid-game fight, and then also how you can go ahead and end the fight quickly. He gets the cone slide on this long angle here. Might not seem like the best angle because he's not using his charge to its full potential, but it is good for just getting a quick shot off, and also, especially with the charge, you can play that range advantage. Now he predicts where the opponent's going to go by placing this left-hand wall. Gets the open edit there, full boxes, get the cones up top, and then also goes in and get the back walls. Now the opponent's got no angles to leave to at all. He can't go outwards, he can't go behind, so what does the opponent have to do? Has to go into the old box and try to make his way back here, but he'll reads this, instantly hops in with a charge on the jumping right hand peak, and finishes the fight extremely quickly. This is a really nice use of the crystal phasing technique that you guys should know how to do already. Basically gets that initial chip damage, and look, as he drops here, pressures the wall with his shotgun first of all to get it 1 HP. Now he sets up, shoots the wall twice with his AR, perfect timing, and then instantly phases in, just double jump forward, and he's in the box behind the other guy, and he gets another charge headshot to finish the fight. Whenever VADEAL is approaching a fight versus another player, he always looks at what shotgun they have at the start. So here you can see the opponent pull out the lever, and what does that tell VADEAL? The opponent is most likely going to do not a lot of damage unless he's in the exact same box as him, mainly because the lever has such a wide spread and it doesn't hit that much damage unless you're face to face. VADEAL plays around this perfectly, places the range with the charge here, swings to his left into the left hand peak of the other player and just simply out damages him with a 200 charge shot. In this fight versus his other player, VADEAL actually plays it really patient in terms of not rushing himself. A lot of other players, I know especially a lot of you guys, would rush this fight and most likely die to a really bad play just because they're playing quite weird. So here he opens an edit and the other opponent just runs out and out trades him. What he does simply is just rebox, take his time. He has the opponent full box, but instead of rushing and going for some kind of crazy edit play and then taking a right and peek, he just simply pops his slurpfish, makes sure he's at a good HP where he can't get one tacked most importantly, and then he comes down, reads where the opponent's breaking out, gets the prediction of the wall, gets the cone slide as well, up and below, and then the back walls most importantly, and now he plays a perfect clipped peek over the top wall where he jumps up, can't take any damage. Perfect example. This is a big mistake that I see a lot of players make, and it's not changing up the angles that they're peeking and edit from. What VADEAL does here is perfect basically. He drops down, as you can see, drops down, fully boxes himself, covers all his angles from third parties as well, especially because their game is getting quite late now. Goes for the wall take, opens up nicely, and then here you can see he charges a shotgun, waits for the opponent to make some kind of counter peek, make sure he plays it really slow as he approaches. Then now, as he opens the edit, as he gets the wall, he slides in a cone instantly, gets that quick timing shot off, and look how he changes his angle. Instead of standing in the exact same spot where he's likely to take damage and make kind of a hard edit to hit, and the other person will have some protection, what he does is actually open a very extremely wide edit here, swing to the left and then right and peek back into the guy takes very minimal damage, and is able to end the fight very quickly as well. This is a technique that I've seen a lot of players starting to use, but you need to get really effective at using it quickly and applying it in the correct situation. It's basically this no Riley ramp phase that he does the entire time. You can see here VADEAL applies it perfectly. Just force it into the guy's box. All you need to do is just crouch, look downwards slightly, and then wiggle your mouse up and down, and it'll place in the guy's box. Realizing this, he doesn't even go for the wall take or waste his time going for an edit shot. He predicts where he's going to go, most likely upwards, jumps up, gets the double edit from above, gets the back walls as well, and then slides in and gets the kill. This is a really nice angle play that you guys can learn from and actually implement into your gameplay from VADEAL that he does during the end game here. So as he's ramping up towards height, he basically does this bottom 4 tile edit, slides the cone out so it elevates the other player, and as you can see here, because of this right hand peak, Artok doesn't even have an angle on VADEAL. VADEAL swings to the left even a little bit more to exaggerate it. The other guy can barely even see his feet, and because of the panic of him getting coned, he immediately jumps up and he barely gets a shot off in return. Now from here you can see VADEAL goes to the cone as well as the back wall control, gets the 84 tag, and he's able to get the elim as they're chopped out as well. This is 2 different types of plays that you can do when it comes to box fighting. The first one is just an edit play you can do, and the second one is that you can do with your box fight positioning that is really OP for tricking your opponents. First of all, as he comes forward here, you can see he transitions this angle from this bottom right hand edit into the right hand window peak where he swings into the guy, instantly going ready for a counterplay. If the guy was trying to take the wall or going for any kind of open edit, he'd be able to get a shot off and return with that right hand peak. And then here, as the opponent has that wall, what VADEAL does is something really nice with his movement. He stands towards the front third of the box. The opponent's going to go for a mongrel classic when they're quite low HP. So he stands towards the front third and then swings into his opponents and swings right. Makes it really hard for them to get any damage on in return on him. First of all in this fight is just a good example of how you should make space to get your heals off properly. All he does here as the opponent pressures this wall is just backwards jump and then make an extra box. Now he has 2 boxes connected. He can easily go for any kind of cross box peek, which is what he does after getting the slurpfish off. Goes for a cross box peek like that. Now, as the opponent is on his wall, what he does is just really awkwardly just stand here holding his max charge out and waits for his opponent to go for some kind of edit. As his opponent goes for the edit, instead of going for the shot, he goes for this wall placement through the wall, gets the shot off quickly, and then what he does is a really weird play, which actually does work, is 180 degree flip the ramp. The guy wastes his shot into the ramp because of the fact that he flipped it and it blocks and diverted the shot. Now he slides a cone and stands really awkwardly, just standing and making the cone yellow. Makes it very hard for the guy to get any kind of counter damage off or even kill him with his AR, and then he just quickly shoots him since there's no way to defend himself. This is a really nice example of using your edit control that you have around somebody to get quick shots off. First of all, rather than just taking this bad angle where the guy's just forcing himself onto you all when you're low HP like VADEAL is in this situation, instead try to look for a better angle where you can swap it up. Here he just gets a nice 80 tag, then he waits on the right hand peak for the guy to run into him, and he holds his stare here. Notice how he doesn't rush his edit, mainly because he can still get one tagged. Instead he waits for a nice opportunity where you can get a safe right hand peak. What he does instead is get a jumping shot up here. As the guy comes into him, he's able to jump up and get a nice quick timing shot. Very low chance of taking a lot of damage in that situation. One quick note that VADEAL does here is as he gets his double edit and jumps into the box with a cone slide, look how he maneuvers himself. He instantly gets this shot off, and then he maneuvers himself behind the cone, uses it to give himself an advantage, crouches, and then swings back and forth. You can see the other player was completely caught off by this. They were standing still in the open, just swinging in one direction, and made it really easy for VADEAL to track them. Whenever you get into a box like this, make sure you try using some crouching maneuvers, and also playing around behind the cone that you slide into the box at the same time is really effective. In this off-spawn fight versus 4ZR, VADEAL does the exact same technique where he phases builds through the opponent's wall. As he's holding it here, he basically goes ahead and places the wall and the ramp sideways, so he sets himself to exploit through, and he also has a position where you can just instantly edit this wall as he goes through. 4ZR is completely caught off by this, and he's able to just instantly kill him just like so. In this fight, VADEAL actually shows off the most busted peek that you can do in Fortnite. It's completely broken, and the opponent can never trade you if you do it correctly. What he does is this stare at it like this, stands himself on this left-hand bit of the stair where he has the protection. He also has the railing here to block off the opponent. He can either go for a jumping right-hand peek, he can either fall onto the right-hand peek, or he can wait for the opponent to jump up and get a timing shot. Because he's low HP, he doesn't want to risk the opponent getting a timing shot on him, so he resets the ramp instantly, does the exact same stare at it here, positions himself well, and then drops down and pre-fires his feet. From the opponent's POV, you can imagine he basically has no room to counter at all. All he can see is VADEAL falling down, and you can see here from this exact angle, you can't even see your opponent. It's completely broken. Last thing I want to show this video is just a really creative stare that you can do when you have somebody full boxed. What VADEAL does here is he just basically gets hit instantly, so he doesn't really want to take this trade, mainly because he might have the HP disadvantage because he doesn't know this other guy's HP. So what he does is run above the guy, then flip the stair just like so. Allows him to jump in and get the shots off from above in return. Now it forces him to a 50-50, but he's happy to take this 50-50, mainly because he got that damage earlier, and he ends up winning the fight.